Hey guys, what's going on? Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about JJ Abrams and his recent interview regarding the sequel trilogy and its planning. Let's get right into it. Of course, the sequel trilogy is a very touchy topic, especially in the Star Wars community, the Star Wars fandom. Myself, I have mixed feelings about it as well, but for the most part, I really did enjoy it, and I think they're okay movies. However, here's what JJ Abrams had to say about it on a recent interview with Collider. Quote, and I've been involved in a number of projects that have been, in most cases, series that have ideas that begin the thing where you feel like you know where it's gonna go, and sometimes it's an actor who comes in, other times it's a relationship that has written doesn't quite work, and things that still are gonna just be so well received just crash and burn, and other things that you think like, oh, that's a small moment, or that's a one episode character suddenly becomes hugely important part of the story. So, end quote there, of course. I'm not necessarily going to play the interview in this video, I'm rather just here to talk about it and what we can actually gander from it, and what JJ Abrams really means by it, if he has a deeper meaning that he's trying to get through to the fans. So really throughout the entire interview, if you have watched it, I'd highly recommend go watch it if you haven't already, and then come back to the video. I really almost feel bad. I mean, JJ just seems to really, I guess, quote-unquote, beat around the bush, if you guys know what that means. He just kind of avoids the question, it almost seems like, for the most part, and even at that, when he is trying to answer honestly, he's throwing shade at other producers and directors that work at Lucasfilm. Those producers and other directors, of course, would be Rian Johnson, who we all have mixed feelings about, and Kathleen Kennedy, who we all also have very mixed feelings about as well. Another quote that we can pull from this interview of JJ Abrams is he does say that a plan is critical, and yes, it is, JJ, it is critical to have a plan, especially when you're going to have a 3-part trilogy, or furthermore a show, or whatever the case may possibly be. It is very critical and important to have a plan set for your movie or whatever you're doing. Now, however, the way he says this in the interview, he, body language wise, he's moving around, shaking around the question, he's just dancing around the question, beating around the bush, doesn't exactly full on, straight on, head on answer this question, and rather, it almost seems like he just didn't have full creative outlet or control of what these movies were going to be and what they could have been. So for the most part, it almost does seem like JJ Abrams did have a plan set for these movies, and it seems like other directors and producers, which would be Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson, came in and just kind of toyed with his different ideas, played around, moved around different things, so it wouldn't exactly line up with his total vision. And furthermore, it almost feels like they didn't give him a warning about what they were going to be doing to his trilogy. It's also really important to note that JJ Abrams wasn't actually full on set to actually come back for episode 9 and direct episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. That initial plan was set by Colin Trevorrow, who had a whole another plan for that movie, which would be called The Duel of the Fates, and I'm pretty sure most of us have heard about that as well. Like I had mentioned earlier on in this video, part of me feels really bad for JJ. It feels like he didn't have full control over the movies that he wanted to direct, especially The Last Jedi. I think he should have directed that. If for anything, he should have just directed everything, honestly, is what, part of me sees and thinks, is that he should have just had full control, directed all of the trilogies, or it might have even further been better if we just had the different directors direct each individual movie separately. So JJ Abrams would have done The Force Awakens, Rian Johnson did The Last Jedi, and then Colin Trevorrow did Duel of the Fates. Well, I think that would have been a whole lot better. So kind of concluding this video and what we can gather from this whole entire interview is that in the end, it's pretty much like JJ Abrams is kind of confirming and coming out and saying that, yeah, the sequel trilogy didn't really all that much have a plan, and it's really more or less due to faults of other higher producers and directors at Lucasfilm rather than just himself. And I feel really bad because he does get a lot of hate and blame for the outcome of the sequel trilogy, even though he didn't have full creative control over it. And so also take on another note is that that's not exactly how movies work. I mean, there is other creative executives and producers. It isn't just one director that does it all. It isn't necessarily just one individual person that does the writing, the directing, directing, the costume designs, all of it. He doesn't just do all of it. It's split up to different departments and places and other people that are also in control of different other things. So I think that's another thing that has a huge lack, is that a lack of communication was also probably happening with these sequel trilogies. Or sequel trilogy, I should rather say. Go comment down below what you think about all of this. What are your opinions, your thoughts, and what you think about all this, what you gander from all this. Your thoughts on the sequel trilogy, of course, I'd love to hear. And while you're down there, drop a like on this video if you did enjoy it, as it really does help with the channel. Check out our Instagram, Unofficial Star Wars, for more news, memes, facts, and all types of other Star Wars related content. And subscribe to stick around for future Star Wars videos. And until next time, the Force will be with you, always. Peace out.